After Newcastle United had built up some positivity during their thrilling midweek draw against Liverpool, they were, however, swept aside in tempestuous conditions against Brentford during the weekend.
What the fuck is this piece of shit?
So from a massive update on Eddie Howe's future to a totally lackluster performance.
I don't like the attitude of several of the Newcastle players. You can't just turn up in the big home games. They drew with Liverpool, they drew with City, they beat Spurs, they beat Chelsea, they beat Arsenal. This is worrying because 2 years ago we were praising Newcastle all the time for their energy, for their closing down, for their pressing. There's none of it. That's not good enough. It's not acceptable. From a Newcastle point of view, defensively, they're all over the place. And it worries me because I look at them and I look at they're lacking the energy that we're so used to seeing a year or two ago.
As per, join us as we break down the 5 things we learned in Brentford for Newcastle United 2.
Let's go!
So the first thing we learned was the defensive lapse. At the back, Alan Shearer, who was a hero in midweek, had a calamitous performance, struggling to contain the relentless attacking threat from Brentford. Having a 6.2 match rating, 3 clearances, 1 blocked shot, 1 interception, 1 time dribbled past, 3 out of 9 accurate long balls and 2 out of 6 duels won. He seemed a bit all over the place, struggling with the conditions, which was evident when he lost sight of the ball for their 3rd goal. Additionally, he was outmaneuvered by Mbeumo for the 4th goal and was sloppy in possession, inviting pressure with several poor giveaways. His centre-back partner, Dan Burn, could have seen a larger scoreline if not for some crucial challenges and a goal line clearance. However, his positioning was poor for the 4th goal, and he struggled to keep up with the pace of Brentford's attack. Having a 6.6 match rating, 5 clearances, 1 clearance off the line, 1 blocked shot, 2 tackles, 2 dribbled past, 1 out of 1 accurate long ball, 2 out of 5 duels won. Regarding the fullbacks, Lewis Hall allowed Mbeumo to cut onto his favoured left foot too easily. It was a tough week defensively for the young player, though his deliveries into the box are improving. He played a lovely ball behind for Barnes in the first half, showing quality in possession, but his defensive frailties were evident. Having a 6.9 match rating, 8 clearances, 1 interception, 4 tackles, 2 times dribbled past, 1 out of 7 accurate crosses, 1 out of 4 accurate long balls and 7 out of 11 duels won. Livramento had some good reads in defense and carried the ball well, breaking forward with pace. However, he made the decision to pull out of a tackle on Shade for the decisive 4th goal, which could have resulted in a penalty and red card. His limited technical quality at times hampers his ability to create. Having a 6.1 match rating, 3 clearances, 1 time dribbled past, 95% passing accuracy, 1 key pass, and 3 out of 7 duels won. Interestingly, all 4 defenders were dribbled past during the game. In goal, Nick Pope conceded 4 and nearly faced embarrassment for a 5th in injury time when Mbeumo robbed him of the ball. It was a tough outing for the keeper, who will undoubtedly be disappointed with his performance. Having a 6.7 match rating, 4 saves, minus 1.65 goals prevented, 2 saves from inside the box, 2 punches, 2 out of 2 successful run-outs, 2 high claims, 1 error leading to a shot, 1 out of 6 accurate long balls, and 4 clearances. Then the second thing we learned was the midfield absence. Newcastle lost the midfield battle, which severely limited their ability to control the game's flow. The hosts won 63% of their tackles, while Newcastle managed only 42% according to SofaScore. Sean Longstaff had a big opportunity to impress by starting ahead of Sandro Tonali, but unfortunately failed to capitalize. He rattled the bar early on but offered little else in possession and was unusually poor off the ball. Having a 6.7 match rating, 41 touches, 33 out of 34 accurate passes, 1 key pass, 1 out of 2 accurate long balls, 1 shot off target, 1 blocked shot, 1 time hitting the woodwork, and 1 out of 3 duels won. Bruno Guimaraes was also uncharacteristically sloppy at times, failing to be as influential as he was against Liverpool. Having a 6.7 match rating, 76 touches, 44 out of 55 accurate passes, 1 key pass, 0 out of 1 accurate crosses, 0 out of 5 accurate long balls, 2 shots off target, 3 out of 5 successful dribbles, and 6 out of 11 duels won. It may be time to consider keeping him in the number 8 role rather than reverting to a deeper number 6 position.
Disappointed, are you after that?
100%. I think first half we have some good moments, but the second half we become a mess. After the third goal, we lost our way, we lost control. We become a mess in the pitch. Very disappointed. I think after the last game against Liverpool, we would arrive here today and play our best football. First half, I think we did some good stuff, but we have to stop to concede. We have been conceding a lot this season. We've got Champions League. We didn't concede as much as we have been given. This is not a problem about just the defense. It's a problem of midfield, a problem for the attack. It's the team problem. We have to stop this. But our season, being honest, have been very, very disappointing.
I guess the question that the fans have is why can you play so well against Liverpool in midweek and then it does fall apart, as you said
we
today?
have not been consistent. We have the fire consistency. We cannot play against Liverpool, Arsenal, top 6 one way, and the other team the other way. Is what exactly is happening. We have to fix it. It's a shame to every game come here and give the excuse because we cannot play in the same way that we have been playing. You have to be consistent if you wanna be in Europa football again.
You say you were a mess second half. I mean, where did it fall apart? Where did you struggle to get a foothold in the game? Is that something? Is it too soon to say now? Do you need to analyse?
I think after the third goal, we were too rushed to play. Gave the ball away many times. Lost second balls a lot. In the end we took another goal, but I think the third goal was the moment that definitely we lost the game. We lost our control, our shape. Everything was a mess in my point of view. And I say sorry for the fans because they didn't deserve this. We have to play for them. I know today was tough. Weather was not so great. They came, they supported us. We were not good enough, especially in the second half.
The weather was difficult, and as you say, difficult for the fans. But what was it like to play? And it must have been difficult.
Tough as well. The wind was not so good, but it's not an excuse. In the first half, we have many chances to win the game. We didn't score. They score. They won a game. We lost. So we have to bounce back, training well in the weekend because we have another massive game coming against Leicester at home, and we hope we get the 3 points and get back to the winning ways because I'm missing a lot to win the games.
And as captain, what can you do? What can your teammates do to make sure that the next week, the next few days, do lead to a positive performance?
We have to train well first of all. We have to stop concede. We have to work hard. That we have been working. My point of view, in moments like that, I prefer not speak too much, just work. And when we get the result, we come back and we speak. I think now I'm very disappointed, but we have to train hard because our fans don't deserve this position in the league.
Both Guimaraes and Longstaff should reflect on their performances, but Joelinton was arguably the worst among them and may need to be dropped. While he brings energy and power to the midfield, it must be paired with greater control and direction. Ultimately, Joelinton, having a 6.4 match rating, lost 8 duels, and despite running around and trying to make an impact, he failed to sharpen his combativeness or positively influence the match. The fact that goalkeeper Nick Pope recorded more touches, 42, than Joelinton did, 36, speaks volumes about his ineffective contribution. When Tonali replaced Joelinton in the 60th minute, having a 6.5 match rating, he completed 88% of his passes and won both of his duels, but he too struggled to create significant chances. It's evident that Newcastle needs to improve their midfield dynamics to regain control in future matches. Then the third thing we learned was the Bryan Mbeumo audition. As Newcastle searches for a new right winger, Mbeumo showcased his talents in a masterclass performance during Brentford's 4-2 win. His influence across the front line was evident, having a massive 8.5 match rating, 1 goal, 1 assist, 61 touches, 3 key passes, 1 big chance created, 2 shots on target, 1 off, 2 out of 3 successful dribbles, 1 big chance missed, and 5 out of 9 duels won. With this performance, Mbeumo has moved up to 4th in the Premier League's Golden Boot race, boasting 100 goal contributions for Brentford. This season, he has tallied 10 goals or assists in just 15 games, with only 4 players having more contributions than him in the league. However, despite Mbeumo's standout audition, Jacob Murphy had a decent showing. He demonstrated his impact with 2 first-half assists, but also faded out of the game quickly. An upgrade on the wing is desperately needed, though Murphy was not among the primary culprits for the defeat, as he had a 7.6 match rating, 2 assists, 2 shots off target, 2 out of 4 successful dribbles, 1 big chance missed, 29 out of 32 accurate passes, 3 key passes, 1 out of 5 accurate crosses, 1 out of 2 accurate long balls, 1 big chance missed, and 4 out of 8 duels won. Miguel Almiron, who came on to play right wing in the second half, did little to convince fans he shouldn't be the first player sold in January. He wasted a rare opportunity, firing a decent chance well over the bar. While his attitude can't be questioned, this could very well be his final game for Newcastle if he doesn't improve. Ultimately, an upgrade on the wing is desperately needed, and Bryan Mbeumo certainly showed that he can be the player Newcastle are looking for. Then the fourth thing we learned was the self-inflicted wounds from the defeat, characterized by cheap giveaways and poor goal conversion. This was particularly evident with Alexander Isak and Harvey Barnes. Barnes was at fault for Brentford's second goal due to a careless giveaway, but redeemed himself by scoring the equalizer. He was Newcastle's biggest threat in the first half, creating a chance that Murphy headed over. Having a 7.1 match rating, 1 goal, 2 shots on target, 2 off, 3 out of 6 successful dribbles, 36 touches, 16 accurate passes, 1 key pass, 1 out of 1 accurate cross, 1 big chance created, and 4 out of 9 duels won on Isak, while he did score his customary goal, having 7.9 match rating, 1 goal, 1 shot in target, 1 off, 1 blocked, 2 out of 3 successful dribbles, 53 touches, 27 accurate passes, 1 out of 3 accurate long balls, 1 big chance created, and 4 out of 7 duels won. He did, however, squander a critical opportunity to put Newcastle ahead 2-1. After rounding the keeper, he hesitated, allowing Flecken to dispossess him. In the second half, Isak struggled to make an impact, highlighting the team's overall difficulties in converting chances and maintaining control. In analyzing Brentford, they managed to score 4 goals from just 1.18 expected goals and failed to take a single shot from inside the 6-yard box, with only 26 touches in the opposition box. In contrast, Newcastle scored 2 goals from 1.48 expected goals, recording 3 shots on target and 40 touches in the opposition box. This disparity in efficiency and conversion underlines the self-sabotage that ultimately cost Newcastle in the match. Then moving on to the fifth thing, we learned that being the huge update on Eddie Howe's future. So as Newcastle are now becoming perfectly mid this Premier League season, with 5 wins, 5 draws and 5 losses. Speaking after the game, Eddie Howe said,
You fall back twice, but in the end, did you give yourselves far too much to do?
Yeah, we didn't defend well enough. Simple as that, really. The goals we conceded, we look back on and we cringe a little bit, I think. Uncharacteristic from us, poor defensively. I could go through all the goals with you and highlight not just one mistake, but 3 or 4 mistakes in every goal. Defend like that, you're not going to win any game. I thought there were some really bright moments with the ball, especially in the first half. There was chances throughout both halves, but you can't defend like that and win games.
Is it quite hard for you as head coach to account for some of that?
I think there was a lot of individual errors naturally today because of the weather, so I think that made it a scrappy game from both sides. I think there was a lot of moments where it was hard for defenders to judge with the wind, but that's no excuse for us, because I think if you look at the goals, the wind's not directly involved in sort of any of the goals from us. It's, as I say, it's individual errors. We weren't cohesive as a team. We didn't help each other. We left too many people individually 1v1. And as I say, we got punished. I mean, I think the third goal was the killer goal for us, because that's come from just a long punt up the pitch, a dead ball free kick, and couldn't believe, we conceded in that moment where the game was on a knife edge.
The first half, as much as it was strange at times, it was still a lot of positives to take. The second half, not so much. Why do you think that was?
I'd agree. I thought first half we were right in the game. I thought we could score at any moment. We had a number of chances. I think we hit the bar in the first few minutes of the game, and it looked like a really bright start for us. Second half was always going to be a bit more cagey, I think, because it was 2-2 in the games. As I say, the next goal was probably going to be decisive. And that's before that third goal goes in. You think we're right in the game, very even. But the manner of the goal, I think, was hugely disappointing. And then chasing the game, we still had chances. And then chasing, we conceded the fourth.
I guess it must be so hard to take when you've played so well against Liverpool in midweek and then sort of failed to build on it today.
Yeah, we didn't stamp our authority on the game. You know, we were always chasing the game. Concede, we'd come back, concede, come back. Never able to get our noses in front, and that's the frustration for us, because we had control of the game, but we didn't stamp our authority on the game enough in terms of being really clinical when we had the chances and really clinical with our defending. So we got punished for that. We've got a week to prepare for our next game. It'll be a lot of reflection, a lot of hard work, and we need to come out firing.
How important does that week feel in terms of having that preparation time, because it does sort of feel like it's needed?
Well, I think we need a period where we do some work. We've got some massive games to come. We always knew December was going to be a pivotal month. We haven't started it very well. We're up and down still. We're too inconsistent in our performances and results, and that's what we need to fix.
So as Howe expressed that his side would cringe at their defending, while Bruno Guimaraes admitted that the team's structure had become a mess, with Alan Shearer going so far as to label Howe's team as hopeless. Telegraph reporter Luke Edwards has provided insight into the manager's situation. Perhaps the most concerning aspect is Howe's apparent questioning of his players' attitudes, which is unusual in his 3 years at the club. The pressure is likely to mount, and while there's no indication that the owners, the Public Investment Fund, are contemplating a change, the supporters are understandably frustrated with the season's struggles. Last season, an injury crisis and a demanding schedule offered some justification for the team's performance, but those excuses no longer hold. Although no single fan represents the entire fan base, it's reasonable to question the direction Newcastle is heading under Howe and whether a managerial change might be necessary. Interestingly, Edwards responded to a supporter on social media who suggested Howe should leave, stating, "He won't be going." This reflects the sentiment that while Howe deserves time to implement his vision, especially considering the challenges he faced after a poor summer transfer window, questions about the team's inconsistency and overall trajectory must be addressed. Howe has handled a tough situation well, but the ongoing inconsistency raises concerns about the sustainability of the current approach. At some point, the club will need to evaluate whether the current setup can lead them to success. Then, in an exciting development, Manchester United have parted ways with sporting director Dan Ashworth just 5 months after he left Newcastle to join Sir Jim Ratcliffe's leadership team. Ashworth's time at Old Trafford came to an end following a poor run of results, particularly after Manchester United's disappointing 3-2 home loss to Nottingham Forest, which left the team struggling in the bottom half of the table. His exit was confirmed after showdown talks with CEO Omar Berrada, resulting in a departure by mutual consent, as reported by The Athletic. Ashworth's tenure was marked by several controversies. He accidentally emailed Newcastle, indicating he was being tapped up for the United position, which raised eyebrows within the football community. After spending 4 months on gardening leave, he ultimately cost Manchester United £3 million to bring him in. During his brief time at the club, Ashworth oversaw a significant financial investment, with £170 million spent on players for a manager who was sacked after just 8 games.
And 5 months later, he spent as much time on gardening leave as he has been working in the job. Clearly, the hierarchy at Old Trafford, at Ineos, led by Sir Jim Ratcliffe, were not happy with the job that he was doing. Whatever you think of Dan Ashworth, his reputation and his work.
So tell me, how do you feel about how it ended for Dan Ashworth at Manchester United? Then finally, I am realizing that only 9% of you are subscribed to the channel. I'm sure that if you subscribe, Newcastle will win the next game. So subscribe if you want Newcastle to win the next game.
I can see what they're doing, what he's doing. I can see it, I feel it.